Ordering at a steakhouse is usually a safe bet, but not all dishes are worth your time or money. Some items can disappoint or feel overpriced. Here's a guide to what's worth ordering, and what's better left off the menu. A steakhouse visit is a special treat. Make the most of it by ordering wisely.
Let's see, steak. Oh yeah, this Douglas Sirk steaks. Have that.
Wagyu beef stands out as the pinnacle of luxury when it comes to steak. This Japanese breed is renowned for its remarkable marbling, fat interspersed within the muscle tissue rather than just around the edges. This unique characteristic gives Wagyu its signature tenderness, rich flavor, and melt-in-your-mouth texture. Beyond taste, Wagyu is also considered healthier than most beef. The American Wagyu Association notes that it contains a higher proportion of healthy fats, with less impact on cholesterol levels compared to other beef varieties. However, this premium quality comes at a steep cost. Due to its meticulous production and exceptional traits, Wagyu can easily top the menu as the priciest option. A 12-ounce steak might set you back over $100, but for many, it's well worth the indulgence. If you ever get the chance to try genuine Kobe beef, don't pass it up. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. However, actually finding authentic Kobe beef is harder than most people realize. Kobe beef comes from a specific breed of Wagyu cattle raised in a particular region of Japan. While Kobe beef is often used to describe any type of Wagyu outside Japan, this is technically inaccurate. True Kobe beef is a cut above even other Wagyu varieties, with a level of marbling and tenderness that's unmatched by any other beef. So why might the Kobe beef on your steakhouse menu not be the real deal? To be authentic, the beef has to meet strict criteria, including being raised in the Kobe region of Japan. The climate, diet, and care required to produce genuine Kobe beef can't be replicated outside this region. Because of its rarity, genuine Kobe beef is incredibly difficult to find in the US. As of 2016, there were only 8 restaurants in the entire country offering it. If you order something labeled as Kobe, chances are it's an imitation. And while it may still be delicious, it won't have the same quality or prestige as the real thing. Ribeye steaks are cut from the rib section of the cow, often with the bone left in, and they retain a good amount of fat. This fat melts during cooking, enriching the meat with flavor and helping to tenderize it. For the best results, ribeye is typically pan-seared rather than grilled. Its high fat content can cause flare-ups on the grill, and the intense heat risks drying out the steak. Pan-searing allows the fat to render slowly, ensuring the steak stays juicy and develops a rich, tender texture. This method highlights the ribeye's natural flavor, creating a perfectly cooked, mouth-watering steak every time. Regardless of personal taste, ordering a steak well done isn't ideal. Overcooking strips away fat and moisture, leaving the meat dry and tough. As restaurant critic Adam Platt from New York Magazine puts it, choosing well done takes away from the steak's natural flavor and tenderness. You're just left with a hunk of beef which is burnt and which you put flavorings on. What's the point of it? When dining at a steakhouse, you're indulging in top-tier cuts of meat that have been carefully sourced and prepared at a premium price. Overcooking, however, compromises the very flavors that justify the cost. It's almost like wasting money. The best balance is usually medium rare. At this level, the steak remains tender, with the fat perfectly marbled, creating a rich, buttery flavor that truly highlights its quality. The T-bone is arguably the most iconic and recognizable cut you'll find at any steakhouse.
Of course, I could get a hell of a good look at a T-bone steak by sticking my head up a bull's, but I'd rather take the butcher's word for it.
We've all been torn between 2 tempting dishes at a restaurant, but the T-bone steak offers a perfect solution. It's essentially 2 steaks in one. Cut from the short loin section, located just below the backbone, the T-bone combines 2 of the most coveted cuts, New York strip and filet mignon, separated by the bone that gives the steak its name. The short loin is known for yielding particularly tender cuts, and this steak brings together the best of both worlds. The New York strip offers a bold, beefy flavor, while the filet mignon is more delicate and tender. The bone not only adds visual appeal, but also helps retain moisture during cooking, ensuring the steak stays juicy and flavorful. So, if you can't decide, the T-bone lets you enjoy both without compromise. While steakhouse menus feature an array of tempting cuts, the tenderloin might not be the best choice for everyone. Sure, it's one of the most tender cuts available, coming from the short loin area where the muscles don't bear weight, resulting in minimal connective tissue. However, tenderness alone doesn't make a great steak. The tenderloin lacks significant fat, which means it falls short in the flavor department. Without the rich marbling found in fattier cuts, the tenderloin's taste is often quite mild. You'll likely need a heavy sauce to boost its flavor, which may leave you questioning why you paid a premium for a steak that requires so much extra seasoning to be truly satisfying. If you're after a bold, flavorful experience, there are better options on the menu. If the T-bone feels like too much, opt for a New York strip. Typically served boneless, you may also find it with the bone in. When this happens, it's essentially the strip portion of a T-bone, with the middle bone left attached for extra flavor and juiciness.
You get closer to it, the meat is way juicier, way more tender.
The bone in a steak helps lock in moisture during cooking, keeping it juicy and tender. However, cooking bone-in cuts at home can be tricky. They require more precise heat control and technique than boneless steaks, making them better suited for a steakhouse experience where the chefs can master the process. Many would argue that ordering chicken at a restaurant is rarely a worthwhile choice.
So here is the chicken you'll be enjoying tonight.
You have this information. This is fantastic.
Absolutely. His name was Colin. Here are his papers.
Chicken often falls flat in terms of flavor compared to other meats, and when you order it at a steakhouse, it's usually overpriced. If you're choosing poultry for a healthier option, think again. Restaurant chicken portions are often larger than red meat servings, negating any calorie savings. At a steakhouse, chicken is rarely the star. Even if the dish sounds enticing, you're settling for a less exciting option that doesn't showcase what the restaurant does best: steak. Chicken is everywhere and can be found in most places. Why waste the opportunity to enjoy a truly special meal at a steakhouse when you could have something more memorable? The reason red wine pairs so well with red meat lies in the science of tannins. These naturally occurring compounds found in grape skins can be quite bitter, but they complement the protein and fat in steak perfectly. The tannins break down the fat, enhancing tenderness and flavor. Meanwhile, as the steak absorbs the tannins, the wine becomes smoother and less bitter. Now, the big question: which red wine should you pick?
And would you care to order wine with your meal?
Hi, yeah. Why don't you bring us a bottle of something or other? Not too sweet, American.
Cabernet Sauvignon is a classic steak pairing thanks to its high tannin and alcohol content, which balance the richness of the meat. Its bold, assertive flavors stand up to the steak's intensity, ensuring that the wine's character isn't overpowered by the dish's strong taste. While red wines and steak are a classic match, white wines can also be a good pairing, but they require a bit more thought. Most whites have delicate flavors that can easily be overshadowed by the richness of beef, making them less enjoyable with a steak. If you prefer white wine, opt for a fuller-bodied variety that can hold its own, like Chardonnay, Riesling, or even Champagne. These wines can complement leaner cuts of meat, especially those prepared simply without heavy sauces. However, steer clear of lighter whites that lack the depth to stand up to the steak's robust flavors. For the best experience, choose a white that mirrors the boldness of a red, allowing both the wine and steak to shine. Steak isn't just for wine. It's also perfect with a variety of other drinks, especially whiskey. The key is to pick a beverage whose flavors can hold their own against the richness of the meat, and whiskey's deep caramel notes are ideal for this. When choosing the best whiskey to pair, consider the steak's cut, preparation, and seasonings. Bourbon and rye are popular, but for grilled steaks, Scotch is often a top choice. Its smoky flavor complements the charred notes from the grill beautifully. Whether you enjoy your whiskey neat, on the rocks, or in a simple cocktail like an old-fashioned, the goal is to let the whiskey's natural flavors shine through without overwhelming the meal. Raw oysters are a popular steakhouse starter, but before you dive in, it's worth reconsidering whether they're the right choice.
They eat algae, right?
Algae, bacteria. Oysters keeps the water clean.
So we're basically eating water filters.
Yep.
Oysters can harbor Vibrio bacteria, which typically causes mild stomach issues, but in severe cases may lead to blood infections, painful blisters, or even death. The common myths about avoiding tainted oysters are misleading, so caution is essential. Beyond bacteria, oysters, like any perishable item, can spoil. While they can technically last up to 5 days in the fridge if stored correctly, it's best to eat them within a few days of harvest, ideally within 24 hours, to enjoy them at their freshest and most flavorful. Potatoes shine because of their endless versatility.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Lovely big golden chips with a nice piece of fried fish.
Potatoes make a great side for steak, offering both a delicious and complementary texture. Mashed potatoes, with their creamy richness, pair perfectly with a juicy, tender steak. Beyond taste, potatoes can also offer health benefits when combined with red meat. Studies suggest that consuming starch with red meat may reduce the risks associated with colon cancer, as starch can help counteract some of the negative effects of red meat on cells. So, not only are potatoes a flavorful choice, but they might also make your meal a bit healthier. If you're a true meat lover heading to a steakhouse, the salad section is probably the last place you'll look. Salads are often the most overpriced items on the menu, with basic ingredients costing pennies, yet upscale steakhouses charging $15 or more for them. You might think ordering a salad is a healthy choice, but be cautious. Many restaurant salads are drenched in calorie-laden dressings and topped with bacon bits, cheese, and other high-fat extras. Plus, produce is frequently a source of contamination. According to a 2015 CDC report, nearly half of all foodborne illnesses are linked to produce, while meat and poultry contribute to only 22% of cases. So, the salad might not be the safest or healthiest choice after all.